Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside that weather window. And today, a little bit different weather story than we've seen about the last 8 to 10 days or so. A big weather change in our pattern, I should say. Beginning last night, we're seeing a cold front move through. That brought us the cloudiness as we take a look down at the Wenatchee Valley from the Wenatchee Heights Sky-Fi tower camera at the cross camera, I believe. And yeah, you can see those dark clouds at the top of the right-hand side of your screen, and we could see some rain showers and even have seen some rain showers around parts of north central Washington. But the weather we've been seeing isn't what we should see for this time of year, so we're getting back to more spring-like weather pattern here in north central Washington. Yesterday we were dry with above normal temperatures at 81 degrees. Today we're struggling to get out of the 60s. We saw increasing clouds. We will see a chance for showers today, and I'll tell you, today just the beginning of a very, very wet weather pattern as we head through the week and into our upcoming weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A new department head will oversee economic development in Chelan County with the creation of a new director's position. Chelan County PUD commissioners approved 3 agreements with milk growers to accommodate power needs for the new diamond foundry. And Wenatchee School District could be asked in November to approve a 6-year levy to pay for classroom technology upgrades. But first we begin tonight. The driver of an SUV somehow escaped serious injury early Tuesday after his vehicle struck a rock embankment, rolled, and came to rest on its top on Highway 97 near Orondo. Douglas County Fire District 4 had to extricate 26-year-old Jesse Holm of Waterville from the vehicle as it was leaking gas. District Fire Chief Jim Odie said it appeared the SUV left the roadway into the northbound ditch about a mile south of Orondo at 12:42 a.m., struck the rock embankment and rolled before ending up in the southbound lane, blocking traffic for about 45 minutes. Holm, who was cited in the wreck, was alone in the SUV and was wearing his seatbelt. He was treated at the scene, then taken to Central Washington Hospital by his mother. Well, a new department head will oversee economic development in Chelan County with the creation of a new director's position. Commissioner Bob Boogert explains the position will be funded through a dedicated account.
So we are creating a position based upon our what we call the .09 sales tax for our county here, that we do have some money specifically tied to economic development. So we can create this position, and our hope is to have, our intent is to have this individual work specifically on economic development in the unincorporated areas of the county.
Commissioner Doug England says the position will be created initially as a 3-year pilot project.
I don't like to see the government grow with what may appear to be a duplicate of what the port is doing, but again, as Bob had indicated, this is going to be specifically targeted. It's designed to be a 3-year program with deliverables that we can measure, and the idea is that if it doesn't produce, then that position will go away. And so the proof from the pudding will kind of be in 3 years when that happens, to make sure that it is something that paid for itself. And if it doesn't pay for itself, then it'll have to be adjusted in some way.
Commissioner Boogert says the new director will also serve as a liaison between the county and the soon-to-be established consolidated Chelan Douglas County Port Districts.
We found that there's a lot of venues, a lot of different forums for the county to participate in that really pertain to economic development. And the 3 commissioners just don't have the capacity to get to each one of those. And so to have a specific point person to advocate for economic development in outlying unincorporated areas, I think will really help out.
Commissioners say they will conduct a nationwide search for a prospective candidate. It's a salaried position that will pay up to $80,000 annually. Well, Chelan County PUD commissioners approved 3 agreements with milk growers to accommodate power needs for the new diamond foundry. The Wenatchee gemstone manufacturer is setting up new operations at its new facility on Holly Street under a lease agreement with Stamilt. Contracts approved by the board on Monday will result in the construction of a new substation by Stamilt that will deliver up to 19 megawatts of electricity. 2 other agreements set up leases to allow for the substation construction. The new diamond foundry is expected to create between 35 and 50 local jobs. In addition to the 3 agreements, PUD commissioners reviewed a large load power contract with the diamond foundry. This contract is set for consideration and potential board approval coming up on June 3rd. The Wenatchee School District could be asked in November to approve a 6-year levy to pay for classroom technology upgrades. School board members are scheduled to discuss the measure at their meeting today. A district advisory committee is recommending a $24 million levy costing property owners between 79 cents and 83 cents per $100,000 valuation. Wenatchee School District currently funds over $500,000 above the amount allocated by the state for technology. The committee reports that the levy, if passed, would decrease the burden on the district's maintenance and operation levy and allow for the use of state dollars to fund other supplemental services. The school board meeting starts at 6 p.m. and will be streamed live on the district's Facebook page. Well, coming up next, Chelan County Commissioners support a proposal to delist gray wolves as a federally protected species in Washington state. The city of Leavenworth will be burning brush and yard waste tomorrow on city-owned land. And Washington is the best state to live in the U.S., that according to a new survey by U.S. News and World Report. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
When you have to get there on time and looking good, call Fast, Friendly, Reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. Available 24/7, AC Checker Taxi has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee for your pre-booked call. Some conditions apply. Call 663-8294. AC Checker, 663-TAXI. Schedule your ride ASAP or book up to a year in advance online at azchecker.com. American Classic Checker Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills in Manson. Remember the good old days? Sunday supper at Grandma's and the best recipes being passed down through generations? Well, come on out to Blueberry Hills and find amazing food with huge portions at family-friendly prices. From Benedict's to burgers to fresh fruit pies, there is something for everyone. Don't miss Blueberry Hills, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. wildaboutberries.com.
Welcome back. In another news, Chelan County Commissioners support a proposal to delist gray wolves as a federally protected species in Washington state. If approved, the U.S. Department of Fish and Wildlife would turn over wolf recovery activities to the state. Commissioner Bob Boogert says wolf pack numbers have reportedly increased to the point where they're no longer considered threatened under the federal endangered species list.
Provides tremendous flexibility once it is under state jurisdiction, under their management authority, because the Endangered Species Act, as we well know, can be a very restrictive tool for protection of a given species. And so to take them off that federal listing does provide quite a bit more latitude for the State Department of Fish and Wildlife to more effectively manage them and really to work with the communities then to come up with appropriate management techniques.
Commissioner Doug England says transferring wolf management to the state will be of benefit to counties where wolves have created conflicts with ranchers and livestock.
It allows it to be done on a more timely basis also. You're dealing with people here that know who's involved and whose opinions to value and can quickly respond rather than file a report, and then maybe it'll happen this season, maybe next season, then it's too late.
Commissioners were scheduled to meet today with Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife Regional Manager Jim Brown for an update. The city of Leavenworth will be burning brush and yard waste tomorrow on city-owned land adjacent to Mountain View Cemetery. The controlled burn has the approval of the State Department of Ecology as part of apple maggot quarantine restrictions. The waste has been collected throughout the city and hauled to the burn site. About 4 such burns are expected each year. Some roadways will be blocked to ensure the safety of cemetery patrons, that according to the city. In other news, Washington is the best state to live in the U.S., according to a new survey by U.S. News and World Report. The rankings show how well each of the 50 states serve their residents. The report focuses on 8 major categories, and Washington ranked in the top half for all of them. The Evergreen State ranked in the top 5 in 4 of the categories: infrastructure, 2nd place, economy, 3rd, education, 4th, and healthcare, 4th. Washington has scored well in past rankings, having placed 6th last year and 5th in 2017, the inaugural year for the report. Nothing we didn't know already, right? You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
At some point, we realized that value and practicality go hand in hand. A time when an unnoticed accumulation of items has become burdensome. These possessions still have value, but now lack usefulness. Donate your unwanted items to Goodwill and become a job creator. Your donations allow Goodwill to provide much-needed training to job seekers in our community, and that's pretty useful for everyone. Be a job creator. Donate. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Well, with the coverage area spanning nearly 50% of Washington state, a local communications center serves a vital role in keeping our area safe during the fire seasons. NCWLIFE News visited the center to learn more about its operations and the demands of the job.
Tucked in a modest building near Pangbourne Airport in East Wenatchee, the Central Washington Interagency Communications Center serves as the dispatch hub for 5 cooperating agencies, covering nearly 22 million acres from the Canadian border all the way down to Oregon. Also known as SWIC, the center serves as the focal point in providing logistical support and resources for anticipated and ongoing fire incidents in Central Washington.
Central Washington Dispatch is one of the largest, if not the largest, dispatch center in the Pacific Northwest, Oregon and Washington. So as we receive a phone call in, a report of a fire, at that point it goes to the initial attack desk. Those folks act on it. We send resources out to the incident. As the incident expands, we start incorporating aircraft. Aircraft is another section within the initial attack office, and the consoles on this side of the room dispatch those aircraft to the incidents. And we have several aircrafts at our disposal, from fire bosses out of Dalles to large air tankers out of Moses Lake. We have helicopters here in Wenatchee, helicopters in Ellensburg, and they can be placed anywhere at any time. So we do have a large fleet of aircraft And again, that's processed through the aircraft. As the incident expands and they start needing resources from outside the area, outside the general vicinity of the fire, then the logistics section would take over at that point. And they would start creating what we call a resource order and sending that to those units and importing those resources into our fires. And we can still have those folks here within a few hours. So what we're looking at here is some of the technology that we use within the dispatch center. This is the geospatial portal. With this, we can view any lightning strikes that's happened within the last week or so. We can view recent incidents that have happened in the last few days or extended incidents that are ongoing. Also within this, we can look at heat signatures from satellites to help us detect fires that are out in the landscape. And we have ability to look at rain shadows, rain forecasts, radar. We can look at current and predicted weather as far as temperatures, humidities, and some of those things on this with this technology.
Despite the transition from staffing remote lookout towers using intricate mapping and tracking software at SWIC, Operations Coordinator Jim Duck says staff still combs through hundreds of fire reports.
One year we had a big lightning bust come through, and we took 600 fire reports in about a 48-hour period. Now those aren't all separate fires, but when folks see them, they see them from different directions, and they may tell us a little different location. And so sorting out all of those and find out which ones are actually fires and which ones are not was quite a chore. We work closely with all the 911 centers locally here in Rivercom and Chelan County. We also do Kitcom in Kittitas County, Suncom in Yakima, Kittitas Sheriff's Office, MAC. We probably touch base with as many as 10 or 12 different 911 centers at any given time. Our fire season's busy, I would say, probably from the 1st of July. It's getting longer. We're busy right now a little bit, but some seasons will run into the end of October. We come in the morning, and we don't know what time we're going home at night. 12, 14-hour days. We try to keep it to somewhere in that vicinity. It does seem to be they're starting earlier and lasting longer before we get the weather in the fall that kind of puts us out of business for a little while.
Staffed year-round, the Interagency Dispatch Center helps agencies respond faster and with adequate resources to help minimize catastrophic wildfire throughout the state. Steve Hare, NCWLIFE News.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. And yes, fire season is upon us. We've had much above temperatures over the past 8 to 10 days and very dry conditions, but that should all change beginning today. We are seeing some pretty heavy cloudiness and low clouds over the Wenatchee Valley today, even some mid and high level clouds as we take a look from our beautiful Sky-Fi tower camera at Wenatchee Heights down at the Wenatchee Valley. And we are seeing some rain showers scattered. They are right now and very isolated around most of north central Washington. We are seeing one storm system after another line up around an area of huge low pressure that's up in the Gulf of Alaska right now. We'll get to that in a second, but it will cause a lot of cloudiness this week and some much needed rainfall, especially as we get into the latter part of the week. We'll get to that in a second too. But today, high temperatures much cooler than we've seen. 81 was our high yesterday, 67 unofficially today, and that is actually below normal for the first time in a long time. 71 is where we should be for this time of year. A very mild start to our day this morning, once again at 56. 48 is our normal. 1997, what a hot year it was, if you remember it or not. 93 our record high. That's about the 6th record high temperature for the month of May. That was back in 1997. 36 our record low in 1986. Still stuck on 3.13 inches of precip for the year, and that's about 6 to 7 tenths below where we should be for this time of year, but that could change as we make our way through the week. Sunrise this morning was at 5:26, and the sun will set tonight at 8:30. Let's take a look now as we put our surface loop in motion. Partly cloudy skies tonight. This is around 10 or 11 o'clock or so. This is the area of moisture that we do expect to maybe bring some scattered showers in our early and mid-evening hours, and then just partly cloudy skies. But things will really fire up again for our midweek Wednesday. Cloudy skies, a 60% chance of mainly mainly afternoon showers and early evening showers. That area of low pressure wrapping moisture up from the south, southwest into our area. That is very favorable for us in Wenatchee to see some rainfall, so a good chance of it for your Wednesday. Also, most of Thursday, cloudy skies, very messy around the Intermountain West and into Montana and parts of Idaho. A 60% chance of rain Thursday. As we move into Friday, we're going to stay with cloudy skies and a 40% chance of showers. All of the western United States, either thunderstorms, some snow showers, or rain, all because of that huge area of low pressure that's just south now of the Gulf of Alaska. By the time we get into the weekend, that low pressure will move just a little bit closer to Washington State, so a dry weather pattern, at least for one day on Saturday with partly cloudy skies, and we go right back to a 50% chance for rain on Sunday. You can see, once again, Washington, a lot of blue on our map, even a little bit of light green. That's heavy rainfall, and that could be Seattle's weather for Sunday. Monday, as we start off our next work week, more wraparound moisture from that large area of low pressure, mostly cloudy, a 30% chance of showers, although most of the shower activity will be to our north and over in the Spokane area, so we may get through Monday with just a sprinkle or two, but we're going to stay definitely on the cool side of things as far as temperatures go. Let's take a look now at your quick lube and tune forecast. Much cooler overnight low tonight of 47 degrees, 69 the high temperature as we get into Wednesday. A 50% chance for rain on Thursday. More rain, remember, Wednesday night into Thursday. A 40% chance for rain on Friday. Just an isolated sprinkle or two on Saturday. That will definitely be our driest day at 71 degrees. And then back up to a 50% chance of rain on Sunday and 68. We'll stay cool on Monday, a 30% chance of rain with high temperatures then at 69 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Only one dealership in Wenatchee has Motor Trend's SUV of the Year and Truck of the Year. That's right, Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram has the all-new Jeep Wrangler and the all-new Ram 1500 pickup. Or get the best of both worlds in the new Jeep Gladiator. Visit Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram today for more information on these award winners and see why there's no reason to leave town to buy your next vehicle.
My name is David Olson. I'm the Chief Executive Officer at Columbia Valley Community Health. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, we genuinely care about our patients. And we hope that you trust us to take care of you, to take care of your family. Thank you.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Tuesday to you. The Mariners had to come from behind twice, but managed a 6-5, 10-inning walk-off win over Oakland last night at T-Mobile Park. Daniel Vogelbach tied the game with a 3-run home run in the 8th inning. Then in the 10th, Vogelbach earned a 2-out walk. D. Gordon running for Vogelbach scored from second base on Domingo Santana's RBI double. Then Omar Narvaez won it with a sharp single to left to score Santana. The win snapped a 4-game losing streak and gave Seattle its first win at home in 17 days. Manager Scott Service said it was nice to hear celebratory music in the clubhouse once again.
Crazy game. You know, they hit 5 solo homers, and say, solo homers never beat you. And tonight they almost did. But we got some big hits late. Obviously, the Vogelbach 3-run homer gets us back into it. But probably more importantly, it was 2 out, nobody on the last inning, and Vogie doesn't try to do too much. A 3-1 borderline pitch up, doesn't go after and try to be a hero again. He just takes his walk, and says a lot about him and kind of his mindset when he takes an at bat. And then we got some big hits late there from Domingo and certainly Omar at the end. So really a nice win. We needed that one. Obviously tough road trip, trying to put that behind us, get some momentum going, guys feeling better about themselves and where we're headed here. So it's nice to hear the music at the end of the game again.
The two teams wrap up the brief two-game series tonight with the A's sending Brett Anderson to the mound to face Seattle's Mike Leake. First pitch coming up at 7:10. Well, the Big Nine boys golf teams are in the Wenatchee Valley for their two-day district tournament. After a round at Wenatchee Golf and Country Club Monday, Panthers led the way with 10 strokes over Davis with a score of 355 to the Pirates 365. Eastmont third at 377. Wenatchee's Hunter Swartz tied with Davis's Johnny Kim atop the leaderboard. They shot first round 81s yesterday. The tournament continuing today at Highlander Golf Course. I gave a call over there just before we went on the air, and they didn't quite have all the results as of yet. We'll try to get that for you tomorrow morning. The District 6 1A tournament tees off today, and that happening at Lake Chelan Golf Course. Wenatchee and Eastmont have must-win games in the district play-in softball tournament today. Wenatchee takes on Eisenhower at Walla Walla Point Park beginning at, that game's underway. Eastmont hosting Sunnyside at the Sterling Sports Complex. That one underway as well. The winners will advance to the district semifinals Friday at either Moses Lake or West Valley. Also, the Waterville-Mansfield girls in Brewster for the Central Washington B League tournament. Shockers playing Liberty Bell, the winner to face Lake Roosevelt. The first round of the WIAA 1A soccer tournament also starts today. The Cascade Kodiaks on the road to take on the Wahluke Warriors. Kashmir, meanwhile, hosts Connell in a first-round game tonight, coming up at 6. Bridgeport plays at Vashon Island tomorrow in the first round at 5 o'clock. And finally, you don't see this every day. That is the Eisenhower High School Marching Band playing at the funeral for a longtime teacher at the school, Mr. Ken Bongers. That happened yesterday. Mr. Bongers taught science at Eisenhower for 26 years before retiring back in 1989. While at Eisenhower, he wore many hats: a teacher, a basketball coach, a football coach, a driver's education teacher, referee, an athletic trainer, and a mentor to many. In 1980, Mr. Bongers received the prestigious award of Biology Teacher of the Year. In 87, he received the Washington State Science Teacher of the Year award. Then in 1989, the state game and Eisenhower students dedicated a wildlife reserve in Cowiche Canyon in his name. Mr. Bongers would have turned 85 on the day Eisenhower's class of 2019 was scheduled to graduate. So long to Mr. Bongers. Pretty cool to have a pep band playing at your funeral. I'm going to have to think about that. I don't know which band would play for mine, though. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. Very cool. And finally tonight, the Navy Times reports that what appeared to be a penis drawn in the sky by a Navy jet above Okanagan in November of 27 was in fact intentionally done by the two Navy lieutenants. The publication cited a military investigation into the incident that showed the officers never intended the drawing done by an EA-186G Growler jet contrail to be seen from the ground. But it was, and a photo quickly became an internet sensation. Voice recordings captured the weapons officer on the jet's first suggesting the phallic drawing. The pilot's response, quote, "Dude, that would be so funny," unquote. When the pilot realized it was staying in the air longer than expected, he unsuccessfully tried to scribble it out. The two immediately admitted to their executive officer at Naval Air Station Whidbey Island what they had done. The Navy did not release details on any disciplinary action taken against them, if any. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.